Keep working. Put your hands up. I feel bad because if I make a mistake, I will have to catch it. You guys can't tell me at this point. Alright, so let's look and see what you have on your paper. Well, let's begin with this chord here. So we want to multiply 9x times x and set that product equal to 12 times 15 for this second chord. Now, 9x times x will give you 9x squared. On the other side, when we multiply 12 times 15, we should get a product of 180. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is to get rid of the 9. So we would need to divide each side by 9. That leaves x squared is equal to, and I know it's an easy problem, but I can't do it easily. 20. Now to undo the square, we want to take the square root of both sides. Alright, so that'll give us x equal. Really, when you find the square root of a number, you'll find both the positive and the negative of that number. And if you take the square root of 20 on your calculators, you get 2 square root of 5. And that's the answer. Are there any questions? Well, you can ask a joke. I did not do it. So now let's take our papers and let's move to, you know what? Don't just leave it like this. Let's go ahead and write the decimal value for this right here. So 2 root 5. Let's change it to a decimal, and we're going to say that for the positive value. And one more thing I need to talk about before I forget. We're talking about measures. Can we have negative measures for a segment? No. So in this case, we can eliminate the negative part. Okay? We can't eliminate the negative part. It has to make sense. But what is this value right here as a decimal? And we would say about 4.47, 4 and 47 hundredths units. Okay. All right, let's move to the back of this worksheet and try a few problems together. And then you would try a few on your own. Let's see. If I was you, what would you ask Ms. Mckenzie to work with you? Let's try some odd number problems. And let's look at problems 3, 5, and 7. And I feel that once I complete problems 3, 5, and 7 with you, you should be okay with the rest, because all of you are very intelligent. For problem 3, we want to set up an equation based on the relationship of our segments. Let's begin with a segment that has the variable involved. So we're looking at this segment here, this chord. Alright, so let's look at the lengths of this chord. We have 10 times x for one chord and set that product equal to, let's go to the second chord, and multiply this part of it 12 times the other part, 15. Alright, so we get 10x here, and we did 12 times 15, but I forgot the product. Was that 90? No, 180. Alright, divide each side by 10. We find that x is 18. That was simple. Why don't you try problem 5 on your own, and then I'll check it with you in a couple minutes. Problem 5, I hope that you have taken time to place parentheses around those expressions. And now let's set up the equation. Now, I may not begin with the chord you chose. It's up to you, but we still should get the same result. I may decide to focus on this chord here first. All right, so it's kind of hard to tell which value or which chord, but I believe this is 10. So this part, 10 times x plus 6, and set this product equal to, for the second chord, 9 times the x plus 8. Alright, so let's distribute, and we get 10x plus 60, and set that equal to 9 times x plus 72. Let's move the 9x. Since it's the variable term with the least value, that leaves x plus 60 is equal to 72. Let's subtract 60 from each side of the equation, And we find that x is 12. If you have 12 on your paper, pat yourself on the back. Good job. And last but not least, let's look at problem 7. Now, once I complete problem 7 with you, you are to complete the rest of these problems on the back of this worksheet. Do not waste time. You will get the answers. Once you finish, the answer will be called out to you, and then you will receive a second worksheet that you need to complete at home if you do not complete it in class. Because expect a ticket out the door, a ticket in the door rather, tomorrow after you complete your do now over this concept. Okay? All right, so for one chord, I may begin with this one. So I want to set up 6 times x minus 2 and set that product equal to, for the other chord, 4 times x plus 1. Once again, we want to distribute for both sides. So that gives us 6 times x minus 12 equal to 4 times x plus 4. I will move the variable term with the least value, the 4x. So we want to subtract it from both sides. That leaves 2x's minus 12 is equal to 4. Let's move the 12 to the other side of this like term. So we're going to add 12. And that leaves 2 times x is equal to 16. Divide each side by 2, we find that x is 8. Are there any questions? Okay, so I would like for you this time to complete this worksheet. Don't waste time. The answer will be given to you. You have a homework worksheet. Complete it. You will get those answers when you return back. You check your understanding. Ticket in the door. All right, have a good day.